So The Last of Us 2 is hot garbage. So if you want to know my thoughts on the first game, I've already done a video talking about the Last of Us 2 leaks, talk about the entire first game, and I also talk about the leaks, right? So I'm just going to be talking about the game in this one, right? Firstly, in the first 2 to 2.5 hours, right? Basically what ends up happening is we spend 20 minutes with this character that we know nothing about, right? So basically, these people are trying to pull a Kojima. And so basically what ends up happening is we spend 20 minutes with this character we know nothing about. We learn her backstory and we come to find out that basically she has ties to the first game, because of course she does. So it's being retconned that one of these, doctors at the end of the first game had a daughter. We never knew anything about that, but now he does have one because we gotta have the story go on. And so basically what ends up happening, right, is that this doctor, right, this doctor is one of the people that was going to dissect Ellie, because if you don't know, Ellie is, the girl of The Last of Us. She's immune to the zombie plague. If if she isn't immune. So basically what was going on in the first game was they were going to dissect her and try to get the cure out of her, right? They would have to kill her. And so Joel, when he found out about that, was like, yeah, hell no. And he kills them all, right? He kills all the doctors, all the guards. Well, you find out in The Last of Us 2 that one of the doctors he kills has a daughter named Abby. Abby finds the fucking body of her dad and is really upset that, he's dead. So she trains and gets stronger in order to hunt down Joel. The issue is that Joel, she doesn't know what the fuck he looks like. She just knows, the general area of where he's from and, what his name is. She knows nothing else. So, somehow, in the first 2.5 hours, right, we know 20 minutes of, character development with this character, which is just okay, whatever. It's not really character development. It's just like, hey, this is her business. It's whatever. So 20 minutes with her, whatever. It's whatever. And then what ends up happening is Joel stumbles across her, right? Him and his brother stumble across her, and they save her life because she was actually going to die from zombies. They come and save her, and coincidentally enough, there's a snowstorm. So instead of going home where they should have, and yeah, I understand, it would have been harder to go home because of the snowstorm. But, again, here's the thing with that. Joel and Tommy are very untrusting in the first Last of Us, right? They don't trust anyone. They just simply don't. In the first game, they're super cautious, they're super wary of their surroundings. They know you can't trust other people because if you do, you could die or they could rob you. And they know in this game that there's a lot of robbers, bandits, and murderers chilling around. But in this game, in this scene, they're just like, I'll trust you. It's whatever. So instead of going back home or chilling out somewhere else, Joel and Tommy are like, yeah, we'll follow you back to your place, you group of people we know nothing about and we just saved from a zombie. We'll trust you. And so they go back to, their house or whatever. And what ends up happening is, Abby ends up hearing that, oh, this guy's name is Joel. And she's like, oh my God, could this be Joel? And it's like, you do realize that, while Joel isn't a very common name, there could be other Joels out there. What the fuck are you doing? And so she just automatically assumes this is the guy. She's right, of course, because, the game has really shitty writing, but, it is what it is. And so what ends up happening is Joel and Tommy follow her into a room and follow the group into a room. The group surrounds them, and somehow Joel and Tommy are still not, thinking, oh, these guys could be bad. Because, robbers, bandits, and murderers don't exist, and they don't know about them in this game. And so they're not, super cautious about the idea that these people are surrounding them. But they would be if it was the first game, so whatever. And so they're like, oh, yeah, where are you from? And they're like, oh, yeah. Tommy's like, oh, yeah, we're a few miles that way. Not a few miles. A few hours that way over the hill. You guys should come that way and, restock before you leave. Still not knowing that these guys could be robbers or bandits, whatever the fuck. So you're just gonna bring them to your base? They could kill everyone there. And then they're like, oh, yeah, what's your names? Oh, I'm Tommy. Oh, I'm Joel. And then they're like, well, shit, maybe we shouldn't have said our names. And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't have. And Abby shoots Joel in the leg with a shotgun. Now, here's the thing about that. Tommy and Joel are super observant. So you want to tell me, yes, there's a lot of people in there. But you want to tell me that they, one, wouldn't have noticed that they're being surrounded, one. And two, they wouldn't have noticed Abby pulling out a big-ass shotgun. Yes, I understand that, the characters are more spread out in the room, the people surrounding them. I get that. But the thing is that I'm sure if someone was moving, because if someone's moving for something in my peripheral vision, I'll catch it. So Tommy should have seen it. I call bullshit that he didn't. Especially since he's more observant than me, but whatever. So Abby shoots him in the leg, And she's like, do you know who I am, Joel? And like, they knock out Tommy, whatever. But she's like, do you know who I am, Joel? And he's like, whatever speech you got planned, get it over with and just end me already. And she's like, you don't get to rush this old man. And starts beating him with a golf club, right? And you start hearing him scream and whatever, and it's just fucking awful. And then Ellie comes in, right? Is trying to save Joel, takes on like 3 of the people, gets tackled, and then what ends up happening is she watches Joel die in front of her, screaming and whatever, like, please don't do this, and like watches Joel die. This is where the rest of the game starts. So Ellie starts to begin suffering from this, you know, she's depressed, she's crying, she's suffering PTSD, she can't handle the death, and she's going after Abby and her crew. She hunts down the crew one by one, even at one point finds this one character named Nora, who is like making fun of her for the death of Joel, saying like, oh yeah, I still remember his screams, I loved every second of it, basically. So, you know what, Joel, you know, gets some kind of revenge, you know, because, you know, what ends up happening is Ellie, you know, takes a pipe to her face, and, you know, does a Joel 2.0 on this bitch and beats her to death. Very satisfying, fuck that bitch. So the rest of the game is basically like, hey, this happens on Ellie's side. Now, watch it from Abby's side. That's kind of what happens for the rest of the game, and it's kind of trash, I'm not gonna lie. Because at this point, in the first, you know, 2 hours, we get introduced to, you know, we have 2 characters that are going on, like, going against each other, right? We have a character that we spend, like, about 25 hours playing with versus someone we played 20 minutes with. And we're supposed to sympathize with her? Fuck no! Joel's one of the best written characters in all of gaming, like, you know, gaming. Like, what the fuck do you think we're gonna side with? And the thing is, we spent 20 minutes with her, over 24 hours with him. Of course we're gonna choose him. Do you think we wanna play as Abby? Are you stupid? You're not Kojima. Fuck, get the fuck out. And so, we're playing as her, it's just, you hate every minute of it, right? And so, Ellie's killing off the crew, whatever. Ellie eventually, you know, like, eventually Abby ends up coming across, you know, Abby comes across Ellie, whatever, like, shoots Tommy, because of course she does. She kills, like, this Asian guy. She just straight up kills him, and it's like, oh, okay, well, he's gone. Like, I think his name was Jesse. She just kills him, and it's like, okay, well, that's over. She ends up going toe-to-toe with Ellie, beats the fuck out of her, and then, like, beats the fuck out of Ellie's, like, girlfriend or whatever, right? And after that, right, they are spared because this Asian boy comes in and is like, hey, don't kill them or whatever, just don't do it, right? And Abby's like, you know what, you got a point, boy. I'm not gonna kill them. It's whatever, right? Now, it's interesting because we always thought that the transgender in the game was gonna be Abby because of the way she looks. Apparently not. It's the boy. Apparently the boy is transgender. I don't know how you make a transgender boy when he's like 10, or her is like 10. It's like 10. When it's like 10, I don't know how the fuck you make a transgender when it's like 10 and it's the apocalypse. But okay. So basically what ends up happening is, like, Abby eventually, like, you know, is out of the picture of the game for like a year, right? And Ellie's like with her girlfriend or whatever and decides, like, when Tommy comes around, it's like, hey, I found Abby, we can go and get her. Ellie thinks about it for a minute and says, fuck it, I'm gonna go for her. Leaves her girlfriend, leaves the kid, goes after Joel's killer, right? She finds her, takes down Abby from where she's being held captive, because Abby was being held captive, gets her, like, loose, and, like, Abby ends up freeing her, like, her sidekick, basically, right? And they end up walking away, right? And so, when they walk towards this, like, water bay area, basically they're walking towards the ocean, there's boats there, because of course there is convenience. So they walk towards the water, and Abby's about to get away, but Ellie's like, no, we gotta fight. And Abby's like, fuck it, fine. And so they fight, and Abby ends up biting 2 of Ellie's fingers off, right? This is important for later. So she bites off 2 of Ellie's fingers off, and Ellie starts drowning her, right? Because Abby's very weak from being held captive for so long. Ellie starts drowning her, and starts getting a vision of Joel. And because of this vision, lets Abby go. Okay, this doesn't make sense for a litany of things. One, Ellie has killed so many people. Not only has she killed so many people, she's killed people for far less than killing basically her dad. So that's one bullshit. 2, she's been killing Abby's crew the entire game. So the idea she can't kill the main leader, the one who actually went through and killed him, is bullshit. Not to mention also, the way that this is, like, illustrated, the way that this is the way that this is shown is as if Ellie had never killed someone before, right? So if Ellie had never killed someone in the first game or second, right? She had never killed anyone, and then this person killed Joel, fine. this would make sense. She remembered Joel, thought that, like, hey, Joel wouldn't want me to kill someone, I can't go through with this, doesn't kill because of Joel. That makes sense. The issue is that Ellie has been killing people for 2 straight games since she was like 12, so the idea she can't kill someone that killed her dad is bullshit. Because in the first game, if someone even dared to threaten Joel, they're dying. Someone dared to threaten Ellie, they're dying. That's how it was. Someone actually killed one of them, apparently we just let them go. Now, here's a way that this scene could have genuinely worked, and I would have been fine with it. It would have sucked, but I would have been fine with it. Imagine, the Asian boy wakes up, Asian girl, whatever the fuck it is, it wakes up, right? Wakes up from the boat because it was held captive or whatever, and wakes up. And it basically starts looking at Ellie and Abby and says, no, please don't, please let him go, whatever, you know, basically mirroring what Ellie was screaming earlier in the game when Joel was dying, right? Mirroring the exact same dialogue, exact same phrasing, and when Ellie hears it, she remembers how she felt when they didn't stop and they didn't let Joel go. And she feels bad because now she feels like the bad guy. And because of that, she lets Abby go. Not because she just wanted to, because she got a flashback. No, she lets her go because at the end of the day, she's like, you gotta protect this kid. And you know what? I don't want to take away a kid's basically new mom. You know, I don't want to do what you did to me. And lets him go, right? That would have been fine. Would have made sense. Whatever. But no, instead we got a really shitty ending, so whatever the fuck. So then you find out at the end of the game, Ellie tries to play Joel's theme. Can't play it because, you know, lost 2 fingers. And so you also come to find out, like, one of the very few last scenes of the game is the flashback. You find out that Ellie and Joel did try to reconnect. But before they reconnected, of course, he was killed, so it's bullshit. So they tried to reconnect or whatever. And it's really touching and whatnot. And what ends up happening is Ellie puts down the guitar and walks away from the memory of Joel because the memory of Joel has, like, you know, made her very different. It broke her because, you know, she lost Joel in front of her, so she was broken over the course of the game. And so she decides to walk away, you know, from the memory of Joel by leaving the guitar and walking away, possibly to go find her girlfriend and whatnot. Another thing is that her girlfriend serves no relevance to the fucking story other than to stitch her up a couple of times because honestly, she serves no purpose. Tell me, what does this character, the girlfriend, serve towards the story of Ellie? She serves no reason. When Tessa was in the first game, she served the reason of, hey, let me show you how Joel acts because of the loss of his daughter, right? That served a purpose. Ellie's girlfriend doesn't serve a purpose other than to show that Ellie's gay. So that doesn't really mean anything. And it really doesn't matter. You take out the girl, honestly, the story can still, like, manage by itself. And you can make the argument, yeah, sure, Tessa being taken out could manage the same exact thing, but I feel like if you take away Tessa from the first game, it takes away with showing you how far Joel has fallen. So no, the lesbian shit does not make sense in this game. Fuck out of here. The transgender shit sure as fuck don't make sense in this game. Fuck out of here. So yeah, basically the game ends, and it's hinted that either the next game will go with Ellie finding her girlfriend, or that we'll be following Abby and Abby's sidekick, basically mirroring fucking Joel and Ellie, like I said in the leaks video, where the Abby is Joel, and the kid is Ellie. Whatever. I think this game is garbage. I think this game is... Now, the gameplay is amazing, but the story is garbage. There are, you know, character motivations that don't make all that much sense in certain parts, and honestly, just the way that the characters act at a bunch of scenes kind of just feels like, hey, we're changing your character right now because we need you to act like this way for the story to progress. It doesn't really make sense with their characters from the first game. They just changed them for that scene so that something could happen. And it's like, it just jeopardizes the whole character. It sucks. But either way, the game's trash. Play the first one. Maybe watch all the flashbacks on YouTube of The Last of Us 2 because The Last of Us 2 flashbacks are genuinely really touching. Watch the flashbacks, and after you watch the flashbacks, don't do any more with The Last of Us series. You're done. The series is done. It's over. Watch any more than that, and you're basically getting fucking Mario Golf is what you're getting. But anyways, with that guys, my video is closed. Don't forget to like this if you did. Don't share this wonderful video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to Uncle Boy Stories for more vlog type shit like this. And yeah, so with that guys, my video is closed. I'm Killzomz and I'm out for now. Peace.